Here's the story about when I traveled over 1,000 kilometers just to get some ramen from Sapporo's legendary ramen alley. I started off my journey at Nankai Namba Station in the heart of Osaka at an offensive time of morning, but the early bird gets the shrimp and mayonnaise onigiri, as the old saying goes. Then it was off to the airport for a short flight north to Sapporo. Look at this fancy train with all sorts of luxuries and a faster top speed and all this other cool fantastic. This is my train. The Plainsmobile 5000. You know what, I'm not going to complain. I like this train better. This train is wonderful. I don't need some fancy train. It's like when you tell your mom you want to ride the fancy train, but she says you have fancy train at home. I hopped onto my new favorite train and sunk into the seats, and I was delighted to see that there was barely anyone on the train, which made me happy because I could admire scenic apartment buildings in peace, but sad because I won't meet any mysterious wizards on my journey. Just as me and my new train friend were getting to know each other, it was time to get off. As I disembarked, I glanced over at the bougie train to see it taunting me again. Then it was time to ride Crazy Bus to Terminal 2 of Kansai Airport. No wizards on this bus either, though. Fun fact about Terminal 2. The entire terminal is currently dedicated to Peach Airlines, which is both convenient and kind of unnerving. Second fun fact about Terminal 2. The convenience store was closed, so there was no way for me to get food while I was there. But look at this cutie. Her name is Sorayan. She's the mascot of Kansai Airport, and I just think she's nice. Finally, it was time to board my plane to Shinchitose Airport. I love boarding planes like this because it makes me feel like some sort of celebrity. And surprisingly, there was a decent amount of legroom for me on this plane. As we took off, I finally took the time to reminisce on all the fun times I had this morning, like when I saw Sorayan and when I ate that shrimp rice ball. Osaka sure looks small from here, or maybe I'm just big up here. You think Godzilla discriminately destroys buildings? Like Godzilla purposely avoids destroying certain buildings but then just accidentally steps on them, like that time I crushed my Nintendo 64 Majora's Mask box while cleaning my room. As the scenery started to change, I couldn't help but imagine the winter wonderland that was waiting for me in Sapporo. This was my first time in northern Japan. What would I find? Snow-covered streets, building a snowman in the park, and then I descended into Japanese North Dakota. Which is still nice, I guess. As my plane descended, so did my dreams of having a snowball fight with a stranger, but I'll be okay. Once my plane settled down, I tried to get the attention of the workers to get them to wave at me, but it didn't work, so I ran away in embarrassment to the Pokemon store located inside of the airport. They had all sorts of exclusive aviary accessories, but what I really wanted was this Pilot Pikachu statue. It obviously wasn't for sale, but I decided I'd do what I saw a kid do once and just lay on the floor face down until I got my way. It didn't work, so I got this cabin attendant Pikachu instead. Stomach growling, I decided it was time for me to head into Sapporo. My hunger clouded my judgment, so I missed out on some of the secrets of this airport, but don't worry, I'm coming back after my ramen, so stick around. After a wonderful train ride and passing a few fancy colorful houses, I arrived at the elegant and sleek Sapporo station. Just out of view of this camera angle is the tallest building in all of Hokkaido, but I forgot to take a picture of it. Depressed by my film faux pas, but determined, I admired an art piece called Boca Statue, which has a whole bunch of naked people. And to my surprise, Joe Biden was actually there to welcome me. Thank you for your time. The best part about going to Ramen Alley is it's basically a straight road all the way from the station, and you pass a ton of landmarks, like the Sapporo TV Tower, which was made in 1957 by Tachu Naito, who also made the Tokyo Tower. I guess the guy just really liked building towers. I don't blame him. We've all caveman brained before and built a 1x1 tower to the sky in Minecraft for no reason. After a nice little walk, I finally arrived at Ganso Ramen Yokocho, aka where we've been heading for the past 3 minutes and 3 seconds. This is a straight alleyway filled with nothing but some of the most delicious ramen in all of Japan. I knew that most of these places weren't open until dinner, but I had no idea it would be such a ghost town at 12:40 p.m. I did my research before coming to make sure that places I wanted to eat were open, so I recommend you do the same. As I walked down the vacant alley, I could definitely feel the history of the area. Ramen Yokocho started in 1948, which is the same year that the Satisfiers released their certified Christmas banger, All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth. Not really on the same level of prestige, but it's all I could find when I googled fun things in 1948. Our first stop is Aji no Kanryu for a straightforward bowl of miso ramen. I wanted the most traditional of the traditional to truly experience what this style of ramen is all about, so I got the most plain thing on the menu, the miso ramen. It looks delicious as most ramen does, but I couldn't help but worry that I fell into a tourist trap as there was barely anybody there. The walls of the shop were lined with autographs, but even though I can read Japanese, I have no idea what they say. I got distracted for a moment and decided to watch the chef, before getting double distracted and noticing that Anthony Bourdain came to the here. All joking aside, Anthony was a huge inspiration and part of the reason I got into food in general, so this bowl is for him. This is it. This is exactly what I wanted. Plain miso ramen. Nothing sensational, no stupid sauces or fancy cooking techniques, no hey take a picture of me with this ramen, just pure ramen. And with one sip of the soup I realized this place is far from a tourist trap. Everyone must have been at home watching Family Feud or something, because this is some of the best miso ramen I've ever had. The grilled pork looked average, but I'm not here to judge. There was so much going on in the broth even though it's just a simple miso base. The alkaline noodles had that bright characteristic yellow hue and that delicious spring to them. I cleared the bowl and prepared my body for turbo pants, but also for the next bowl of ramen I was about to eat. With a belly full of tradition, next up I wanted to see what the more modern flair of miso ramen was like here in Sapporo. So I swung by a spot called Misogin for their kiwami ramen. I was a little worried though because this looked like a huge portion, but I can do it. I tried to get video of the atmosphere, but I was feeling shy and I didn't want to stand up and film. So here's a counter and a wall, and here's the vending machine. Only the best reporting here at Japan Eat. I was excited to see that the kiwami ramen wasn't a mountain of meat like it seemed on the menu, since I just cleared a bowl 10 minutes prior. but it was nice and it had these 2 little slices held up by moyashi or bean sprouts. For the price, it's more than fair and the flavor was top notch. Once again, the mad scientists in Hokkaido have found some way to pump miso broth to a level of complexity that is honestly wasted on little old me. Not because I destroyed my taste buds in a tragic accident when I was 6 on pizza rolls fresh out of the microwave, but because I can't convey how good this bowl was to you. Every aspect of this bowl, even the bean sprouts, which are normally just flavorless filler, was delicious. Sapporo finally even got me to eat my corn. Misogin uses a special mix of red bean miso and slow simmered chicken broth, so you can definitely taste the chicken flavor if you close your eyes and focus really hard. I focused too hard and gave myself a headache, so I left. Make sure you listen up because I'm about to give you the most top secret locals only tip I can possibly give you. If you need a great view for video and such, go to the 2nd floor of McDonald's. Look at this footage, it's exceptional. I can't believe I blacked out. I woke up on a train with ringing in my ears and a bump on my head. A cat named Rover tried to ask me a bunch of personal questions about my finances and where I was going, and then he made me type my name on a GameCube controller while he repeated every letter I pressed in a strange voice. He told me to meet up with a raccoon when I arrive and my living arrangements would all be in order. I have no idea what he was talking about. I ate a ton more on this trip, but those are all going to be posted as shorts, so keep a lookout. Apparently this train was heading back to the airport. I watched the window intently as the bustling city scenery melted into the North Dakota biome. That's 2 Minecraft references in one video. I really need to take more time to carefully craft out these scripts of mine. Whenever I write a script, I dig around in my brain hoping to strike gold, but I'm always forced to pick between 2 bad ideas. But I keep moving forward because I know that each time I finish a video, it's just another notch in my belt. Mo Yang. In Japan, they check for small children left on the train by eating the seats after reaching their final destination. Luckily, all was well, and I safely arrived back at Shinchitose Airport. This place has tons of secrets to discover, so let's go explore. First stop is Snowmiku Skytown. This isn't just any Hatsune Miku store, it's a Snowmiku museum. Snowmiku is basically just Miku in a winter outfit, I guess, although I'm sure the internet will come after me for that one. Theming of this place was so on point that I completely forgot I was in an airport. There was even a little walkthrough area that showed all the Vocaloids as well as an arrangement of Miku figures that would make even Vocaloid Loverman 1543 on YouTube have a heat stroke. There was also a plethora of promotional stuff from throughout the years, like this recent Fila Hatsune Miku collab, which I never knew I wanted. And when you turn the corner, there she is, the real, life-sized Snow Miku. I was starstruck. Even though I was only here for a brief moment, I left this place a Snow Miku fan. I was upset, but it was time to say goodbye to Snow Miku, and I wandered around the airport a little bit more, blown away by the sheer amount of stuff that's in this place. There's a full-fledged movie theater and a game center that I had to check out. I wanted to try to win something to take home, but I didn't have much room left in my backpack, so I settled on the most reasonable thing I could possibly get. Not an adorable Pichu plush, not one of these 55 million Hatsune Miku figures. I needed something practical, something that wouldn't weigh me down, something a little bit more useful, so I decided on Pringles. And I'll just let you watch how that worked out. Not well. I had to do a double take just to make sure I was reading this right. This is an onsen, a hot spring, in an airport. I was so floored by all this stuff I even missed my flight. After adequately looking at things and commenting on them, it was time for me to board my plane. I must have hit a huge growth spurt on this trip because I no longer fit in my seat. I survived though, so it's okay. I said goodbye to the tiny plane and thanked it for letting me ride it. With arteries filled with miso and butter, I entered Terminal 2. I was herded through an Umbrella Corporation laboratory to head back to Nankai Namba Station. We came a long way from a humble shrimp and mayo rice ball. I feel like I truly learned a lot on this trip. I learned about Snow Miku, I learned about ramen, but most importantly, I learned about myself. I learned that this world is small, and just a simple plane ride can transport you to a place of complete unfamiliarity, even in the same country. I hope this video encourages you to get out and explore a little bit. Who knows what's waiting for you? Maybe you'll meet a wizard, because I sure didn't, so honestly this whole trip was a waste, and I'm never traveling again. Don't even ask me to put out a fire if it's outside, because I'm not going. I want to take a second to be completely serious and thank you all so much for nearly 500,000 subscribers. It blows my mind that we've come this far, and I'm forever grateful that you take the time out of your day to watch me out of all the millions of talented content creators in the world. I'll keep trying my best to produce quality content for you guys, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. Either way, thank you so much. How should I end this video? Should I